I'm Clare Cooley. This is the Creativity Show. Happy Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Um, may we all increase the peace and happiness in our lives and spread it to others. And that's why I do these live streams, because creativity has always been a source of happiness and purpose for me. So I want to share that with you. I've been doing a series of stencils because they're so accessible, they're so easy, they have so many different uses, and I'm going to finish a curtain today in front of you. But before I do that, I want to say just a couple more things. That stepping into the flow of exploring our imagination and expressing our creativity increases our happiness. Happiness is a combination of play, connection, and flow. And when we increase our happiness, we increase the happiness of those around us in the world. We increase the peace, and that's a wonderful thing. It's what I want to share. Creative reverie, the peace in creativity helped me get through the toughest stuff in my life. My next book is going to be all about why creativity became a resource for me to transform my adversity into my advantage art, how I did that, and suggestions on simple, very easy, 1 hour a week could be plenty of time to strengthen your connection to your imagination, your confidence to express it, and your courage to share it with others. That's what it's all about for me. The purpose, fulfillment I get through helping others. I call myself, as a creativity coach, a guide for those on the way home to themselves. We're all creative. We all have an imagination, and it is good for everyone to know our feelings, express them respectfully and creatively, stimulate our immune system. Feelings stimulate thoughts. Thoughts make us smarter. So everything is beautiful about it. And that's why I'm doing these. So I'm doing a curtain here with my water lily. And last live stream virtual visit, I like to call them, because that's how it feels to me, a way to walk lightly on the earth, tiptoe our carbon footprint by connecting virtually, not driving and flying and all that carbon emission stuff, but walking lightly on the earth through connecting virtually in these virtual visits. So, Bo, are you ready to come out and move the camera so people can see me doing this stencil? The last live stream, I do them every Monday and Thursday at noon Central Time. The stencil didn't quite work as well as I'd like it to, so I cleaned it. And how you clean the stencils when the paint dries on it is really hot water, and then you can literally scrape it off, which I did in the center because of the delicate cuts. And so I use a screen, actually it's a tea strainer, to pour the paint when here it is, I'll show you. I soak my stencils in this cookie tray, and then I pour the water through this tea strainer so that then the flakes of paint I can put in the trash instead of into the water system. So a lot of the time it doesn't matter if the paint sticks, but in the really delicate place, if we put it right into water, we can just wash the paint off and strain it, put it in the trash, or reuse it, which I do a lot. But if we let it dry, then hot water and scraping it gently, very gently. So here we go. But it didn't work before, but that...
I'm going to come over your shoulder so it's right
Yeah.
side.
But I'm not a quitter, so I'm like, okay, let that dry, and then I hit it again, and it's fine. And then I decided, well, you know what? I want to put a few of these on this curtain that goes in my bathroom that has this same water lily theme. I use this for the distance between the water lilies on this. And I also discovered an improvement, which is to take a heavy full paint to have the stencil not move without straining my hand to hold it still. So here we go. And then have the paint you're using. I have a glass plate under this fabric so that the paint doesn't get on the table. And that's something that, especially with this sheer fabric, I have to clean off because the paint does go through this sheer fabric. Depending on the thickness of the fabric, the paint may or may not go through the fabrics, but you want to be careful not to get it on your working surface.
Just let me know if I'm getting in your way with this.
Nope, not yet, anyway. Well, now this cut is interesting, so I have to hold the lily pad down so it doesn't flip up and do weird things, smearing paint. We have to make sure we don't move the stencil in any direction, which is why the up and down motion with the brush is the best, most effective way to get the paint on the stencil without moving the stencil. But sometimes we scrub a little bit, paint a little bit into those lines. And we'll go for this guy next. Now I assume they can hear me without my mic on today because we're recording through the...
It's all happening through the iPhone, yep.
Okay. Bodhi's the texpertise, has the texpertise. I'm the hands-on, make anything that I want in my life if I can artist. We're gonna be showing you some of that while this is drying. I made a list today just for my own curiosity of things that show while standing in the center area over there, what I call the gallery, the receiving gallery, where this 120-year-old house, when it was built, the owners, original owners, would receive their guests in that room. So I call it the receiving gallery. And from that spot, I counted, listed the number of different kinds of creativity you can see from that one vantage point. And I got to 30 different types of creativity that I've enjoyed doing. And there we go. So once again, this one I didn't get enough. I'm going to come back when this dries. I'm not going to touch it before it dries because that would smear the paint. But we'll let it dry.
So this stick you used for measuring between the designs?
Yes.
Cool.
That is a metal chopstick that I also use when I mix paints to get just the right teeny bit out of the container. So we'll let that dry and we'll move on to show the gallery. Computer, turn on gallery lights. There they are. So before we even step into the gallery, the reason I wanted to show you this is because this stenciling that I'm doing lots and lots of, it turns into art to wear. So I wanted to have that also as we come into the gallery. So now we see these kimonos. Here is spring with flowers and fish. And here is autumn with maple leaves and deer. And then when you step in, you'll see winter and summer. But above the gallery now, I have these stencil cards that these stencils are, all 10 of these are now SVGs that are available through my Patreon at $3 a piece, or become a member and you have access to all of them. The monthly membership fee is $5, and instead of paying $3 a piece, you get all 10 for that $5. And I'm going to keep having the stencils come out, so eventually there'll be hundreds. I've got 300 designs, and I'm going to continue. I think next live stream I'm going to do a water-related stencil outfit. Today I'm showing off jewelry that I've made while I'm in my painting outfit. But oh, yeah.
All right, well, let's take this moment here. I refreshed my browser on my camera, so I have to come back into the computer room here and turn it back on. So I'm going to turn it back on, and I can see it's just a little bit pixelated every once in a while. So I'm going to. It says it's got a 10 out of 10 network connection. And hello to everybody. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Patreon, and I think even Twitter. Okay, so the camera's back on. It can see you.
You can see me?
Yes.
All right. I'm having my boba morning tea.
Nice.
My green tea with boba.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Great. I'll be right back out. Okay. Should be working now. Every once in a while it seems a little glitchy, but I think that just is my phone's Wi-Fi. If it happens again, I'll try resetting my phone. But we seem to be good now.
all right. So while I talk about the different forms of art, I give myself permission to create anything I want in my life that I can. And it's pretty much everything for a home and personal, art to wear, jewelry, and for a home.
I was thinking you would be great to give an example by saying all the different things you can just see from where you are, all the different things, different art forms, and I'll show the camera.
Okay.
All the different things you've created.
All right, well, let's start in the gallery there. There's paintings and drawings and etchings, pen and ink, pencil, colored pencil, watercolor, all in original art. And then there's the limited edition prints you make. here at the Emerald Lady in our own studio, and there's poster and there's the stationery, and so the prints come in that size, which is large, and the medium is up on the wall there. Those pieces are also left is the book of cranes and the poster, the white make cranes arching poster. And here's the original art on your left that became the cover of my memoir, Incandescence. So there's books. Some examples of etchings over here. In fact, my very first etching is up on the wall there. The hibiscus in the window. And so
will you talk a little louder because the microphone's on here, so it has to.
Sure, I'll talk louder. And so here's summer and winter kimonos. Here's some objet d'art. I love to do, decorations myself. So that's origami, silver and gold cranes on reeds that I found. And so there's stationery, cards, prints, original art, and those ones are sideways, but there's, over 500 pieces. Show the warblers and wildflower series. There's 26 in that series. I often work in a series. It helps me to not be too precious and attached to any one piece. If I lose perspective on it, I can just move to the next piece. So then there's, when you come out here, there's frame designs. The scroll frame I've designed in a number of different ways. And there's also these hand-painted screens I did. I designed the screens and then painted them. I designed this china cabinet and then the 202 crane dishes that I had incised, designed, and my stepsister, a master potter, threw them on the wheel and I glazed them after carving them. So there's lots of floral displays. There's lots of tabletop objet d'art. I just love to keep creating and keep making anything I like in my life to have. I give myself permission to create for the joy in it, for the fun, happiness, increasing of stepping into the creative flow. Here's river pebbles that I separated from beach glass. I literally separated the glass and the pebbles. And here's the glass and these bottles of vinegar that emptied. So I try to use everything as a impetus for creativity. If I find, like I found this beach that was close to a dump, and so all this beach glass washed up on the beach, and so scooping it up and separating it, using the pebbles over there, you can see some more use for the pebbles, and separating the glass to use it there. So lots and lots of furniture, dishes, art, framing, all kinds of art products. So let's go back in here and see if this is dry enough to put the stencil back on it and see if we can make it. This particular stencil with these was one of the first ones that I cut with the stencil cutter machine, and I've learned a lot since then, and I wouldn't have such a big piece that flips up like this again. I learn, you know, we learn as we go. And if we learn as we go, nothing is a failure. Everything is an opportunity to learn, explore, step into the flow, and whatever we create, we're increasing our happiness and our health, because expressing emotions, as I say over and over, because I've noticed through the years that there's a lot of aversion to having emotions, to feeling them, to expressing them, and especially, you know, women get criticized for being too emotional, but guess what? Feelings initiate thought. Expressing feelings stimulates our immune system. Healthier, smarter, so they're all good. The challenge is to express them respectfully. And that is what, in my opinion, art gives us that opportunity to be expressing in a constructive, positive way and making ourselves smarter by feeling, making ourselves healthy by healthier, by expressing them, stimulating our immune system, and sharing it, connecting with others is purpose. And I believe that the connection part of happiness, the play, connection, and flow, connection, like with you right now, gives us a great deal of joy and happiness. And I think what's happening here, so we're going to let it dry once again, and I'm going to thin the paint with a little teeny bit of water. If you go too far, it'll spread underneath, but it needs some more help. But you can show them the stencils that work better here on.
Yeah, she's already done 4. Oops, excuse me. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me position the camera to see them. They're upside down from your perspective, guys, but okay.
Great. Well, while that's drying again, I'm going to show you how I organize my stencils. So I've talked about how to clean stencils. Now, here's how I organize them. This is such an artist thing to do. Most people put their receipts in an accordion file, and I have origami cranes, feathers, pollinators, dragonfly, insects, regional warblers, warblers and wildflowers, deer. We have miscellaneous, mountain and nature lines, design lines, water lines, seashells, seahorse and turtle, sea creatures and fish, and peace in 48 different languages. I have several of these because keeping organized, I call it stow as you go, helps me to not lose the inspiration before I find the material, the tools, whatever it is that I need to fulfill that inspiration. If I stay organized, I can go right to it while the inspiration is hot and get to it, instead of what I've seen a lot is I've experienced and I've seen in a lot of other creative people and people in general. Everybody's creative, but people who are expressing creativity is getting sidetracked on the way to looking for something. So that's why I have what I call the true entertainment cabinet, which has all the tools and supplies. And let's move this light so we can show this side. And We have even instruments and paints and inks and carving tools and drawing and painting and book designs, stationery designs, stencil designs, all sorts of different projects right here, organized all in their own place. And then down in the framing room, down in the cellar, I have project towers that have, tall with drawers that organize the rest of the tools. I love being able to go right to it when I get an idea. And that's very satisfying, and not lose the inspiration on the way to creating. So, and then over here, I have the fine art cabinet that has literally every one of these drawers. This old drafting table that was donated to me, and I did this inlay on the top of, and every drawer has its own project. My very first drawings, limb lines and bird lines, so every drawer has different categories all the way down to papers. So I can find things quickly and easily, and when I'm working with other people, I can help them facilitate their inspiration, curiosity, by going right to the supplies they need. Over here I have the fish and seashells stencils that I'm going to do next live stream. I'm going to make a water theme outfit with jewelry I've done with seashells. And like this jewelry is also done with shells. And that's what, well, why don't you show a whole outfit around water? So that's what I'm going to do for next one on Thursday at noon. So I hope something here sparks your imagination and gives you confidence to create and increase your happiness by stepping into the flow and connecting with others by sharing it. So that's what it's all about. And is there anything that you'd like to say, Bo?
I will have to look in the computer room, see if we got any questions or comments. But
okay, well then I will work.
Work on
spreading this, making this paint the right viscosity.
I'll leave the camera here with you.
Okay.
And you can work on that.
I'm adding just a teeny bit of water to it because that's why it's not spreading into every one of those delicate lines. And it's a little bit of most stencils, if you've watched the many other stencil videos, happen in one pass. This is the most problematic stencil I've had, but I'm not gonna quit just because it's challenging. And I'm gonna try really hard not to go too far with adding a teeny bit of water so it can't mush under there, but just get through those delicate cracks. And apparently I should have scraped off more in the veins of this water lily like I did in the center so that the paint could flow through these delicate cracks. Sure.
Love it. What type of paint? Said BBC.
I use, that's my shea butter hand lotion. I use Golden Acrylics, and you can use any type of acrylic, and you can see the cone brushes, the other stencil products. We have links. How could you tell them how that happens? The links.
Yes, if you're watching on YouTube or you're not watching on YouTube, just go to YouTube and you will be able to find the affiliate links in the description of this video and all of her other videos for all the paints and cone brushes and stencil cutters and stencil materials like acetate that she uses. So if you want to know the exact product, she has the affiliate links in her YouTube video descriptions. And her YouTube channel, by the way, is The Creativity Show.
Okay, well that's all I'm going to do on this one till it completely dries. Then I'm going to clean that stencil a little more so that there's more room for the paint to get between the delicate lines in the lily pads and the stems of the flowers, and then it will be successful. That is the artistic process. Not everything works the first time. Not everything works as we think it's going to, and then sometimes it comes out better than we hoped for. But it's always something that we learn from and we can work with. I decided when I fell in love with drawing that I was going to finish everything I started instead of give up on anything. So I've learned over the years if something is frustrating me, walk away and do something else, come back when I've refreshed, and keep going until it's done. And then when it's done, we're having fun doing it. Sometimes we want to just keep going and we overwork it. My classically trained mother told me this a lot, that in art school, which I never went to, she said in the studio she worked in after she graduated from a fine art college, she said most artists overwork their work, and it's because we are stepping into this happiness increasing flow. So I try to always work on more than one thing at a time so I can go to the next thing instead of overworking the thing I'm doing. And it's when it's done, my mother said to me, you just work until it's done and then you stop. And a lot of artists have problem with that, and I can understand why, which is because it is a beautiful, serene, happy making feeling to step into our flow. So have something else going so you can step away. If you think it might be done, step away and come back later. And if it is done, let it be and move on to something else. Who was it? The guy that made the most television shows, what was his name?
Oh, Norman Lear?
Norman Lear said, done and next. And that's, he tremendously prolific.
Got a comment.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Are you going to put that in your gallery? Asks Madeline on YouTube.
This is going to go in my restroom upstairs, and I'll show you when it's done. It has the silver stencil frieze, and it has art on the walls with my frame, my scroll frame design innovation, a different version of it. So the theme in there is these silver colors that were already in the restroom. So this hot fuchsia, I call this color, curtain is between my restroom and closet and over my window. So I'll put it up there, and when it's done, I'll show you that. So yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. So on Thursday, you will see this done and up, and I will do the water themed seashell fish outfit in front of you, or I'll have it done and wearing it, one or the other, we'll see. And I'll do some art in front of you. That's what I'm going to do every live stream, hoping it inspires you to enjoy your creativity and give you the purpose of sharing it, that comes from sharing it with others. So I hope there's something here that helped you, inspired you, informed you, and that you tell a friend. And I'm loving doing these and the feeling of connection with you. So I love your comments and questions and any feedback you have. And I can't wait to see what some of you do with the stencil designs and share your creativity with me. That'll be really a wonderful moment. So I think we're good.
I think you covered it. And if I missed any of your comments, guys, on Facebook or any of the other platforms, I'll make sure to share them with her, and we'll get back to you next time she goes live on Thursday at noon.
Okay. Well, happy birthday to Martin Luther King Jr. And may we all increase the peace and happiness in our lives and share it with others. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.